Bach, in the last decade of his life, I think a man in his 50s, had a reasonable expectation that he wasn't going to live much longer, and so he starts to revise many works from his past. He starts to compile works like the Mass in B minor, Klavierübung Part 3, which is a great selection of organ chorales. There's the Goldberg Variations, the musical Offering, and the Art of Fugue sort of fits into that. It's his sort of testimony, his testimony to posterity, and his testimony to, if you like, the forms and the ideas that people were forgetting. So I think what it's saying is that I'm the guardian of this tradition for which I have a profound amount of respect, and this is my statement. A fugue is probably the most complicated musical form. It's one in which a theme, an idea, or called the subject, is explored in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, even 6 voices, which is to say separate parts, and this theme is repeated and turned upside down and stated in various ways.
The Art of Fugue theme that he uses throughout is this. Then that theme immediately appears with other material underneath. The way that it was prepared was it's written in a set of clefs with no proposed or no suggested instrumentation. It is, on first sight, a theoretical work, and was viewed in that manner for a long time. People thought, well, he didn't really mean for it to be performed. Now we have evidence and a great deal of scholarship that shows that it is a keyboard work that's prepared in open score, as it were. You know, keyboard music we play on 2 staves. This is prepared in 4 or 3 staves. And so I thought, well, you know, with orchestration you can do doublings, you can divide things between voices, you can add harmonizations. I haven't been above, you know, maybe changing a few things and adding devices of my own.
There's a particular kind of satisfaction to be got from playing it as a solo instrumentalist. But just been rehearsing one of the fugues which Mahan has arranged for violin solo and harpsichord, as if it were one of the Bach violin sonata movements. And there's something very satisfying and sort of energizing about sparking off another musician in music like this. So, you know, a violinist can sort of inflect phrases and sort of explore dynamics and so on. So it's sensation, I suppose, of being in a really good game of tennis. You hear something and you try to respond. So I think for me it brings a whole new dimension to the music.
arranging the music as Mahan has done for various instruments of different timbres is a way of making what is, as I said, very complex music clearer to the ear. If you've got one of these incredibly complex 4-part fugues and you're playing it all on one harpsichord, I mean that's a virtuosic thing to do, of course, but it's much harder to actually hear where a tie goes. If there's a rest in a part, it's much harder for the ear to actually pick up where that voice starts again. But if you've got voices as disparate as a cornetto and a violone, then that's that I think it's very it elucidates the whole work.
It's quite a challenge because usually cornetto is played with trombones or voices, and we haven't got any of those, so it's interesting being put into this Baroque band, this Bach band, and playing with bassoons and oboes, which as a cornet player I never get to do. In the chorale piece we're doing at the end, it's the chorale melody, which the cornet has done for years, always playing plain chants and bits of chorale, and that's kind of its role, to support the voice. So it's really playing the part of a voice within the piece.
As far as including the chorale at the end, which I think is a controversial move to say the least, because it is generally accepted that it should not be part of the work and it has nothing to do with the work. Well, that has entered our consciousness as sort of the end of Bach's life, and I think that's quite a beautiful image. Forkel in 1802, who's Bach's first biographer, said that, well, I know that it really shouldn't be there, but I can't help but being very moved emotionally and thinking of the composer's last hours when I play this piece.
What Mahan has, which is lovely, is a sort of boyish sense of wonder for just the material that we're dealing with, and it is endlessly wondrous what Bach has done with this stuff, and his enthusiasm is really all about, hey, isn't this just amazing? Taking part in such a great piece of music as this does inspire a sense of wonder. That's a sort of musical equivalent of understanding something about physics or the solar system.